Hey, what's up, TD Nation? It feels like it's been forever since I've been on a call, but it's only been like 2 weeks. So I'm excited to be back and do another call with you guys. You guys posted a lot of good questions. Um, the involvement in the group is still through the roof. Everybody's excited. A few of you are having a little bit of problems. Hopefully we can inspire you guys tonight and help you out with that. But most of you are kicking butt, so keep it going. Before we get into the topic I wanted to talk about tonight and the questions, we have one of our challenge members on the call, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle. How are you?
Good. I'm very good. Thank you very much.
And then we also, Larry's always on our calls, but Larry's Michelle's coach, and Larry's on the call. What's up, Larry?
Hey guys, what's going on?
So, Larry, just go ahead. Why don't you just tell us why we've got Michelle on the call tonight, and just take it away, man.
Okay, so first off, I want to thank Michelle for being here. It was kind of short notice on my part. We actually wanted to do this on the kickoff call, but I started crying and couldn't stop, and then we actually kind of dropped the ball on that one. And then Michelle went to Hawaii. She was there for a while, and now she's back. And then, so finally we've kind of connected for the first time, and she could join us on the call. So, the reason why we're here is we have a surprise for her, but there's a reason why TD Nation joined together. And late last year, I'm in a Ironman Wisconsin training group, and just a random person made a post in there that CNN and the Dr. Sanjay Gupta, they pick a triathlon team of beginners, people who've never done a triathlon, have never done anything like that, and they pick these people to do it and to do iReports or to kind of report their journey on the way through it. So I thought, hey, that's a really cool thing because, that's the sport that I'm passionate about. And I thought, well, I'll throw it out to my team, even though, this is more Beachbody stuff. Maybe I can make a little spark in someone to do it. And so the only catch with this is to submit an entry, you have to do a video. And so I really wasn't sure where that was going to go, but I made a post on my team page. And a couple weeks went by, and I think the post had like 1 view. And I think that ended up being Michelle. And so I think about 3 weeks passed, and then she sent me a message. She was like, hey, Larry, I've been really thinking about applying for this CNN Triathlon Challenge. And I was like, that's great, you should do it. It would be an amazing experience. I had looked online. There weren't that many entries at the time. There were maybe like 25 or 50 people that had put in for it, because you really, it's really like this group is. You really have to put your heart out there, and you have to kind of open yourself up to scrutiny and just being vulnerable. And so, I was really impressed that she was even thinking about it. So I think we messaged a few more times, and this was about November, I think November of last year. Was it November? Okay.
Yeah, it's around that time.
Yeah, and so she messaged me a couple more times and was like, hey, I've been putting some video clips together, and I'm going to do it. I just, give me one more day to really get up that nerve to do it. And I was like, this sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it. And she did it. She, got the nerve to hit that submit button, and this thing went up on CNN's website, and she was like, Larry, you got to see this. And so, I went and watched this video, and I'm going to post it in the group for you guys to watch, because her video is really something that us coaches just dream of being able to do, and it was so powerful and so moving. And she really put her heart into it, and it was awesome. So I remember watching it, and we kind of talked back and forth, and I was just like blown away, and both me and my wife were tearing up, and I was just like, that is just amazing. Just how brave she has been, and you know, I was just like, this really deserves like attention. So I ended up like messaging Lance and a couple people, and I was like, hey guys, you got to see this video. And they're like, okay. I'm like, no, stop what you're doing and watch this thing. And you know, within minutes, I get all these guys are messaging back, and they're just like blown away, and they felt what I felt, and it's really what this group is about, is stirring that emotion in people so that everybody knows they can do it. And you know, you have to be brave, and sometimes you have to just like step out of your comfort zone, and that's what she did. So I messaged her back, and I was just like, are you ready for this? Because your video is amazing, and we really want some people to see it. And she's like, I think so. And so, you know, that next day I told Lance and said, hey, we got to share this with some Beachbody people and see what can happen. And within one day, I think it had over 500 views and like 50 to 100 shares. And just to kind of like put that in perspective, my P90X transformation video has like 1,500 views, but I've had that on YouTube for like 2 years, and she hit over 500 in just a few days. Now I think I just looked, she had over 800 views, over 100 shares. It was just spread like wildfire, and it's because it was just so good and just so raw and real, and yeah, it just deserved the attention that it got. So I'll let Michelle kind of talk to you a little bit more about what happened with CNN, because I honestly think the producer is probably shooting himself in the foot, or shot himself in the foot, and he knows it. But
I can't believe she wasn't selected after that video.
Yeah, I know, and I think they know it, and I think they realize it. And she did have some experiences that I haven't shared with anyone, but I'll let her talk a little bit more about her experience and the things she got from it.
Sure.
But the moment I'm waiting for is that, you know, one of your goals you shared with me is that you wanted to challenge yourself to do a triathlon. Mm-hmm. And so I rallied the troops, and you know, TD Nation loves it when people really put their heart out there, and so we rallied together, and we are going to cover your first triathlon entry fee.
Come on, you don't have to do that. That's amazing.
So yes, we are doing it because we want to share in you reaching that goal. So all you need to do is pick out what triathlon you want to do, and let me know, and we'll work it out. So I know you're in Wisconsin.
And then let us know where it is so we can try to be there.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I was going to say is, you know, like, I know you're in Wisconsin. We're in Central Illinois. I know you just signed up to come to the retreat, which is amazing because I can't wait to meet you there. But, you know, for your triathlon, depending on when and where, there could be a really good chance that maybe someone will join you, and that might be me. So if I can work it out, I would love to join you if you know, if the timing's right and we can figure out the dynamic of it.
So that would be amazing.
I would love to come hold a sign and cheer you on.
So yeah, we'll just turn it over to you a little bit because I want to hear, you know, your experience with it, and you know, tell them a little bit more about the CNN part, because I was really excited for you, and I got to share a little more than everybody else. So take it away.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, the experience was phenomenal, and when I started putting together kind of a script, and I have not done a lot of videos, and I started actually doing the video, I was shocked at how emotional I got, because I realized I was really hitting the nail on the head, that all this time, you know, my journey towards being fit, I was the biggest obstructionist to that. It was all of my excuses as to why I wasn't getting fit and healthy. And, you know, you kind of know that in the back of your head, but when you put it out in a video for the whole world to see, it's just extremely emotional. And, you know, the video was kind of goofy, and I wanted to retape it, but yet you could never capture that emotion again, because once it was out there, it was just so raw and so real. And so I just went with it. And where I am today compared to where I even did that video, the mindset is so different. It's not a matter of feeling like you're punishing yourself for all of your bad choices. It's, no, I'm choosing to be fit and healthy. And it's a long journey, and that's okay, but it's very liberating. And so everything I said in the video is true. It's so empowering to know that you're in charge of your health, and that the choices you make a huge difference. And I think it's this group and that video and that experience literally changed my life. After I posted the video, I did get a call pretty quickly from a CNN producer who said that he really liked my video, wanted to tell me more about the challenge, make sure that I could actually do it and fit it into my schedule. And I thought, ooh, this is getting really real, and I can't believe it. But then what happened was, like 3 days before the video submissions were due, like the video submissions tripled. They had so many submissions from so many people, and then the CNN producer ended up reaching out to me again, saying that, you know, they really wanted to balance this and that, and you know, so many men, so many women, demographics, that type of stuff, that I didn't make the cut. But if there had just been a couple more spots, he said, I would have been in. Which you know, at the end of the day, people say the journey is really what it's about, and that's truly what it was. I had already won from the perspective that my attitude and my mindset had changed so dramatically that it was fine. It really was fine. I'm amazed at the reaction. I mean, it kind of went viral locally. I live in Cleveland, Wisconsin, and I work in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and I was getting Facebook requests and emails from people saying, your video's going Manitowoc viral. I'm like, I don't really know what that means, but it's pretty exciting. And it's amazing how many people that, not even knowing it, I've inspired, which I didn't do. That wasn't my intent, but you know, I have coworkers who say, you know, I've been logging into MyFitnessPal for 30 days because of you putting yourself out there. And it's like, that's really worth it. It just makes it so amazing. So I'm a little verklempt, you guys, but I just appreciate the support so much. You have no idea.
It's awesome, Michelle.
Yeah,
thanks.
Go ahead, Lance.
Oh, I was just going to say thanks for being a part of the group, and I'm really excited to see you do your first triathlon. It's going to be the coolest thing ever. So I will
That's awesome.
let me know where it is, and I will do everything I can to be there and give you a big hug when you cross the finish line. So
you guys are the best. You have no idea.
Awesome.
So Larry, you might run it with her?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I know, you know, Wisconsin is a triathlon hub. I mean, they're big in that sport up there. So there's a lot of them to choose from. You know, and if I can make it, if she wants to do one local, or I know they have one right here in my hometown. That's a great event. I mean, we'll try and figure it out. But I just know that, you know, after seeing that video and knowing that's her goal, I just want to do everything I can to help her meet that goal. So that's why I really was just like, you know what, guys, we gotta make this happen. So yeah, it's just been really cool. And Michelle has been with the team for a while, and she'll even admit that, you know, she would start challenges and do pretty well for a month or so, and then kind of drop off, and then we'd start another challenge, and kind of she'd get back in. But she did really finally hit that spot to where, you know, she put it on herself and said, what if I don't quit this time? And that's kind of stuck with me. That's one of the things I just remember her saying very vividly, is like, you know, and I think wasn't a conversation with your husband? I think, wasn't it your husband that kind of said that to you? What if you don't quit this time? What if you stick with it?
Right. I have a wonderfully supportive husband, and I was just expressing my frustration at always failing. And he said, it's so simple, Michelle, just don't quit. And I'm like, it really is that simple. And it was amazing how so many things culminated. It was accepting the scary challenge of Perfection Crew last challenge. It was that video. It was my husband saying, don't quit. And it's just been amazing.
Yeah. And Michelle, I spoke at a Beachbody event. When was that? 3-4 weeks ago, Larry.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said was, it's like it's not that you were lazy, Michelle. It's just that I think for a lot of people when they start off, that the task seems so overwhelming, and you're looking 100 miles down the road rather than, what if I just lost a pound a week for 52 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if I just lost 2 pounds a week for a year? All of a sudden, I've lost over 100 pounds, and it's if you're just concentrating and not looking too far ahead and thinking about all the things that you need to do and just focusing on making little small changes, and then of course not beating yourself up when things don't go your way, when life gets in the way, and not letting one little trip cause you to just completely give up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that our group has been really good about, keeping people involved, and it's okay to have a slip up. It's just what's not okay is if you have a slip up and then just leave, because then, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you're right back where you started. So, but I watched your video, Michelle. Larry sent it to me, and I think I didn't say holy crap. I think I used a different word when I responded to him. I said, that's the most inspirational thing I've ever seen. We've got to get this out for everybody. So,
Mm-hmm.
Larry, you're going to post that in the group again?
Yeah, we'll post it up, and yeah, it's just, that's moments that really make this group. You know, it's those moments where people really let their guard down and really are just truthful and raw, and yeah, it was amazing. So thank you.
Yeah. The title of your video too, when Larry sent it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this going to be? Because it's like a slap in the face, right? I mean, the title of that really, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to be good or not.
Well, and it was interesting because I was contacted by people who were very offended by the title, and I thought that's
Really?
interesting that, you know, it is in your face, but it's in your face by deliberate choice. I mean, that was the whole point of it. But
Yeah. I mean, you know, once you watch the video, Michelle, there's no way in the world you could be offended by what you said. No way. But I love the title. I think the title is fantastic because you're like, all right, I got to watch this and see what this is about.
Yeah, I think it just made some people uncomfortable, I think, because it would hit a little too close to home.
Yeah, I think
people.
that's exactly it. You're exactly right. Yeah. I mean, because everything you said was 100% spot on. It's just, yeah, it was great, Michelle. It was really, really good.
Well,
so yeah, Larry,
thank
if
you
you post
very
that in the
much.
group, yeah, I can't wait to see you do your first triathlon. Now the pressure's really on, isn't it?
That's okay. That's fun. That's healthy pressure.
Yeah. Good deal. All right. So, Larry, do you have anything else to say? Anything else to add?
No, I just wanted to thank her one more time for being a part of the group, and just, yeah, you can really see that change that she's had in the last 4 to 5 months, and it's just evident, and just our communication back and forth, and yeah, it's just been really cool to see that change in her. So yeah, I'm looking forward to you starting some tri training, and let me know, like, when you get started, what you need help with, or if you need kind of things to, like, think about, like gear that you might need. It can be an expensive sport, but I didn't even have a road bike for my first triathlon. I borrowed one. I see people ride mountain bikes. You don't have to go out and buy a $3,000 bike. Like, we can talk about all that stuff, and I know CNN might have offered to help you get some stuff too. So
yeah, they offered to get me a spot at the Malibu Triathlon if I wanted to do that one. I think they run out of spots, and so they offered to get me into it if I wanted, and then they offered some of their discounts from their vendors.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually would have been, that Malibu Triathlon is a pretty amazing experience because a lot of celebrities actually do that. So that would have been a really cool event to be at. But they screwed up and didn't invite you. But yeah, like, But we can definitely talk more, and you know, I'll help you however I can, because we're gonna get you through it, and it's gonna be amazing. So.
Cool. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, the only other thing I wanted to talk about tonight, real quick. Let's see. Call's been going on about 23 minutes. I actually had a couple emails this week, and then somebody even posted the same question in the thread in our challenge group. But I had a couple people who were getting discouraged because they weren't hitting. They're having a real hard time hitting their macros, especially their protein numbers. And I don't know how many of you have went through step 2 in the orientation site, but again, please go through step 2 on the orientation site. If you've gone through step 2 and you're still having trouble, what I wanted to kind of explain to you guys is, you know, generally we try to get you guys to hit anywhere from, you know, 0.6 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, the lower your calorie goal is, or the slower your metabolism is, the bigger percentage of protein is going to be in your diet. So when I was at 1,800 calories a day, I was at about 50% protein, but that was still, you know, getting me that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. As I improved my metabolism and my calories got up to 2,600, I no longer needed 50% protein. I mean, that would have put me, you know, well over 300 grams of protein, which I just don't need. So, you know, I was able to adjust my macros. As my calories increased and as my metabolism increased, I was able to focus less on that 50-30-20 or even 40-40-20, and really just try to hit, you know, that 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Keep my fats in between 20 and 30%, and then kind of let the carbs fall where they may. So some of you guys might be in that spot, but I don't want you to really stress out about the protein too much. You know, some of you might not even need 0.8. Some of you might need 0.6 grams. It's you know, it's not. I don't think it's a definite thing. There's a big gray area there, so I wouldn't stress out about it. I would make your number one goal your calories, and then try to get as close as you can on your macros. If you do that, I think you're really going to be fine. So yeah, don't stress out about it. I had a lot of emails where people were really frustrated they weren't able to get the protein in, and I just wanted to reassure you guys that that you'll be fine if you're not getting that 50%, 30%. And really now, the more we've done this, I like you guys to kind of start out at 40% protein, 40% carbs, but I know some of you are even having trouble doing that. So don't stress out about it. Then there were some questions about plateaus. A lot of people say they're hitting plateaus. The first thing I want you guys to be aware of if you're talking plateaus is to really be honest with yourself and make sure that you're actually hitting a plateau. What a lot of people do is, you know, they may not have had any weight movement or inches lost in 2 or 3 weeks, but they've had more cheat meals than usual. If you've had more cheat meals than usual, or you're not hitting your calories and your macros constantly, then you haven't hit a plateau. So just first, number one, be real honest with yourself. Are you really hitting a plateau? Have you went 3 weeks hitting your calories, hitting your macros with no inches lost and no weight loss? If that's the case, then yeah, you probably have hit a plateau. And there's 2 things you can do. The first thing I recommend is upping your calories and seeing if that helps kind of break through that. Get a hold of your coach, because your coach is going to know, you know, how many calories you're currently on, and they'll have a recommendation of how much to up your calories. Anytime we go up on calories, we want to do it in small increments and then leave it there for a few weeks to give your body time to adjust, your metabolism time to adjust. There's another thing called zigzag dieting. If you want information on that, just email me. I don't want to go into zigzag dieting right now in too much detail, but basically you have a couple low days, a moderate day, and a high day, and then you repeat. It's a little bit more tracking, a little bit more planning involved, so it's not really easy to do. but it does work. It's pretty effective. It's always effective at getting me through plateaus. If you go to tdnation.com in the search bar and you just type zigzag, there's an article I wrote on zigzag dieting that'll give you sample plans. Somebody else, a couple people had questions about reverse dieting too. One was when reverse dieting, they said they hadn't seen as much weight loss reverse dieting. So here's the thing I wanted to make sure you guys know. When you're reverse dieting, your goal is not to lose weight. Your goal is to repair your metabolism. So I wouldn't concentrate so much on losing weight while you're reverse dieting. What you're trying to do is increase your calories and your carbs and your metabolism while maintaining your weight. So your body's getting used to that extra food and burning it off. And then whenever you cut, you'll be able to be eating more and cut weight, which is always wonderful. Right, Alan? Alan's smiling. So that's what we want on reverse dieting. And anytime you're reverse dieting, somebody posted that they were really afraid they were going to gain weight and also wanted to know, how do you know when to stop reverse dieting? Well, we always want you to add 100 to 200 calories a day. So if you're at 1,400, maybe go up to 1,500, 1,600 a day, and keep it there for 3 weeks and don't touch it. Give your body time to adjust. Give your metabolism time to adjust. In 3 weeks, if you haven't gained weight or inches or even a slight amount of weight, I'm probably okay with, then you're going to bump your calories again, and you're going to keep it there for another 3 weeks. You're just going to do that until your body tells you, all right, and you're going to know because the next time you weigh in, you're going to start putting on weight. But when you hit that top part, you're going to know to start cutting weight. So for me, I started at 1,800 and I slowly increased my calories up to 2,800 without gaining weight. And then I went to 29 and all of a sudden my body started putting on fat. So 2,900 calories was my limit. I knew it because I started putting on, a couple pounds a week. That's when I knew to cut back. Like that was my top. It's probably at least for now, as much as I'm going to be able to repair my metabolism. Alan, do you have anything? You're the reverse dieting pro now. You've been doing it so much. Do you have anything to add to all that?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it pretty well. With the expectations, some people will maintain their weight all the way through a reverse diet. Some people might gain a few pounds. Some people might lose some weight. I've been helping a gal in the group, and she was eating very low and she was very overweight, doing lots of cardio, and she's eating like 1,000 calories a day. And I just said, all right, we need to put your weight loss on hold to fix your metabolism. And when she got around, we got her up to, and I just started doing 100 calorie increments because she was really freaked out about gaining some weight. So I took it a little bit more slowly, and once we got up to around 1,400 calories, she just all of a sudden started losing weight. And now she's up to about 1,600 or 1,700 calories, and she's down like 40 pounds. So it can happen. It might not. I haven't lost weight reverse dieting since July, but I've been doing it with the goal of kind of gaining weight. So I've been trying to stay ahead of the reverse diet a little bit. But if you're really slow, or if you're really worried about gaining, I mean, you can just take it slow. Like I've had some people where I'm increasing them 50 calories every 2 weeks, and that's fine to do also. I mean, it adds up after a while for sure.
Yeah.
But even if you do, gain some weight, let's say you gain 5 pounds, but let's take myself as an example. I was maintaining weight at 2,000 calories a day. Now I'm just barely gaining weight at 3,200 calories per day. When I start my next body fat cut on March 9th, verbal tag to Joey, I'm probably going to be able to effectively do a cut at 2,800 to 3,000 calories per day by that time. And you know, if I would have just jumped to that in July, I would have been gaining weight like a freight train, and now I'm losing weight on it. So even if you do gain some weight, it's so much easier to remove that few pounds or whatever it is once you start your body fat cut. So it's a good thing. Mentally, it can be tough.
And you just, yeah, mentally it's tough, but really you have to just come to a point where you have to realize that if you do not have a healthy metabolism, you are never going to cut weight effectively and get where you want to be. I mean, a healthy metabolism should be your #1 goal.
Yeah,
so,
and what I always tell people, you know, when I'm talking to them about this, when I'm saying, okay, I think your metabolism is not very good, I say I'm thinking about your well-being 5 or 10 years from now. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna be struggling for months to make a little bit of progress, and you may very well quit from frustration and go right back to where you were. Which, you know, obviously you don't want to do that because you're here, and I don't want you to do that either because it's not healthy for you. So you know, if you do this and put in the effort and sacrifice a little bit now, it's going to be so much easier for you to hit your final results and then maintain those results permanently. Because if you're sitting, you know, pretty fit and lean, and, you know, at least for myself, Lance, you probably got this too once you got up to around the 3,000 mark. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get those calories in. So it's like, you know, you have to really try to gain weight. So once you figure out how to eat kind of intuitively, I mean, it just kind of becomes self-regulating at a point, and it becomes not difficult to just maintain, you know, a pretty fit body composition.
Yeah. So I think that's just a really important thing that we go over so much, but I don't think there's anything more important that we can tell you guys. I mean, I have clients come to me all the time that are really overweight, that are eating 1,000 calories a day and can't figure out why they're not losing weight, and they're doing tons of cardio. It's because their metabolism is completely shot. So we really, really have to repair that. If you repair your metabolism, it makes life so much easier, and like Alan said, cutting weight is so much easier, and just living is easier. Cheat meals don't, you know, when you have a cheat meal, it's not as big of a consequence as it is if you're on 1,000 calories a day. I mean, if you're eating 1,000 calories a day and you have a cheat meal, all that's going to be stored as fat. So, you know, it's a tough road, and you're just not going to be able to eat 1,000 calories a day and feel good the rest of your life. So, we just got to get a lot of you eating and to trust in that, and do it in very, very small increments. It was a big challenge for me to do this too before I learned about reverse dieting, and it was a huge mental block for me. And I tried to add calories back several times, but my biggest mistake was I didn't do it long enough. I'd up my calories, and I'd do it for a week, and I'd step on the scale after a week, and I would freak out because I put on 2 to 4 pounds that first week, and I didn't realize a lot of that's probably water from extra carbohydrates and all that stuff. And when I held on to it, when I finally stuck to that calorie goal a couple more weeks, I lost all that weight and then some. So you really, really, if you're going to up your calories and up your carbs, you need to commit to it for at least 3 weeks. So if you're really scared about what that scale's going to say in 1 week, don't get on the scale. If you up your calories, just stick to it for a couple weeks and see how it goes. And in 3 weeks, if you've upped your calories and you didn't gain any weight, then that's a huge win, and you get to eat more the next 3 weeks. So
it's a lot easier to fit some fun food in your macros too when you start getting your calories up. I did want to mention, Lance is talking about protein. I remembered a live chat with Steve Edwards and Denise Fay, which Steve Edwards is the Director of Fitness and Wellness for Beachbody. He makes He's instrumental in making all of the fitness programs. Disney Fay is one of their senior nutritionists. They did a live chat talking about how much protein you need and kind of that topic. So I posted that in the group as a YouTube video, so check it out.
Cool. You posted that in our group?
Like 5 minutes ago.
Awesome, man. Good deal. But yeah, there were a lot of people that were really down and really getting frustrated, and almost sounded like there were a couple people. It almost sounded like they were ready to like completely throw in the towel because they couldn't hit their proteins and macros. So I just really want to tell you guys, don't let that freak you out. Calories number one, macro two. Just do your best and forget the rest, right? All right. Well, guys, we're at 40 minutes, so I don't want to go any longer than that. I'll write some of these questions down next call, and we'll go over a lot of these questions in the next call. But I think it's the protein thing and the macros. It was really important to go over with you guys, even though it seems like we go over it every week. But if there's a lot of new people watching, I think it's really important. And then obviously Michelle's story is just awesome. So make sure you watch her video. It'll knock your socks off. And thanks, Larry, for being such an awesome coach as usual. If Larry can hear me, I don't know. Oh, yeah, he gives me a thumbs up. All right.
That was fun.
All right, guys. Yeah, I guess Justin's been out hunting. I don't know. All right, guys. Have a good night, man.
See you, everybody.
Later, guys.